Into the crack house. Into the crack house. Into the crack house. Into the crack house. Into the crack house.
Hello and welcome to Minisode 17. I am your host, Fritz, of course, joined by co-host Mandaddy.
Hi.
Nick Spry.
Hello.
And Kaz.
Hello.
Angela has the night off.
What?
That's it. Thanks for listening. Just check us out on Libsyn.
No reason to listen.
Have you guys... So I've been sending a lot of text messages lately, and you guys have not been responding.
I feel like it's been pretty equitable.
So,
I've been busy.
Do you guys know I've seen an actual UFO, and I've posted it online?
I did know that.
No,
True.
I had no
I saw the
idea.
photos.
No idea.
Yeah, well...
Except for all the texting and talking about it on the radio and all that.
If you were to go to realradio.fm and you hover over the Phillips file and go down there to the bottom, you can see the Fort Fritz podcast, and right above that, you see the Fritz blog. You click on that, and you can see all of the photos, and when I see all of them, I mean like a fraction. Because I didn't know if you hold down the button on your cell phone, it'll just take a bunch of pictures.
Oh, it does that?
Ooh.
It depends on what type of phone do you have.
I have a Samsung S8.
Huh.
Is that the exploding
That's
one?
the exploding one.
Thank you.
That's
For
not a
letting
good,
me know I got to
that's not a good thing.
It's a grenade. Yeah, if you
Yeah,
hold
it's
the
a
button
grenade.
too long, it blows up.
Well, I didn't know that.
Or no, once you let the button go and then
Then it blows
Then,
up. Like
4
It's
seconds
like a
later.
bouncing Betty
Right.
baby booby trap.
what?
Bouncing
Bouncing
Betty
baby-
baby booby trap.
for
One more
like
time.
a booby trap for babies,
Yeah. Basically, you put it around the crib, and the kid
If
comes
they get out,
this
then it
gets splattered.
blows them up.
Well, and they learn. It only happens once.
Right.
Best
God.
babysitter
No, that's the type
ever.
of booby trap that if you stepped on it, it'd make a ding sound, and so people knew that it explodes when you take your foot off.
So,
So
like,
you know.
when you come home at like 11 after the movies and like you walk in and your toddler is just standing there sweating on top of this, like,
You got out of your crib, didn't you, little fucker?
the hurt locker. Yeah.
Well,
They gotta learn.
I took 62 photos of this object. Let me explain. I was leaving the fort to go to work, as I sometimes have to do, Monday through Friday.
Usually, you know.
And it was around 10:30 in the morning, and I look up and I just see this completely black object. It looked like it was super, super high up into the air, almost like a drone would be, almost like a speck. But I saw it going in the same direction. It seemed small. It was the pictures show it being before the cloud coverage, so it was not up any higher than 25,000 feet. But then it just stopped, and that's when. And I was about to take a left-hand turn. That's when I said, "No, no, 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 yeah." And I grabbed my cell phone,
Right.
took 62 photos. When I was done, it went back on its way. So number one, it hovered. It looked tiny and small. But number two, all of the photos showed different shapes.
I'm hoping that you pulled over safely to the side of the road. to
Oh,
snap
absolutely.
these,
No, he was just driving, hanging out the window.
He
just taking
unbuckled
it
his
the whole time.
seatbelt. He pulled over safely, used turn signals, unbuckled his seatbelt,
Right.
removed his hands from 10 and 2,
I
Turned
did.
turned on
hazards
his phone. Yeah.
I also documented all of that again in 4,000 photos because I didn't know if I just held down the button, it did not record a video.
Oh, like your folly is our discovery, right? Like now
Right.
we know that we can take rapid fire UFO pictures.
And that's
In
exactly what
world-
happened.
And
The world
possibly
knows
explode
now.
your phone.
Right.
Yeah, well, you did contact us as soon as you saw this, and at first I was like, "You mother father!"
I gotta know.
You were like,
Yeah. I thought it was
you were just telling a fib." But
Yeah.
then you sent us the photos, and at first I was like, maybe it's a bird." But seeing the way that the shape morphed, yeah, I don't know.
could have been a trick of the light and bending around something that was definitely flying in an, I would say an unnatural mechanical way. It didn't seem to be
But isn't that the
floating
basic
something.
definition of
Absolutely.
an unidentified flying object?
Unidentified.
I will say this right now. There was no way it was an airplane. There
Right.
was no way it was a helicopter. There was no way it was an animal. This was either an experimental military grade aircraft or it was something that I am unfamiliar with. So I will say it is a UFO. It's an unabashed UFO sighting. However, I don't know what the hell it is. I'm not that smart.
It couldn't have been just changing angles that, because it is so far in the distance that
Yeah,
it could
maybe
be
right.
as
There
it's
was a
turning,
glint.
you're seeing different angles of a
The
normal
morphing
craft.
of the thing,
could
I
be.
think, is less important than the fact that, like, if you look at it, it's not flying. Like, it's not a crow or a plane or something that's normally supposed to be in the air. Maybe, I don't know what weather balloons look like. We always hear about them.
True.
Does it look like a big balloon? Because that didn't.
No, and also because it was on such a straight course and then stopped.
Right.
There's nothing that can really explain that. And also in all of the photos, and this was taken over the time span of like 2 seconds. It wasn't like I was like holding onto it for hours.
So now if an aircraft is traveling at like a perpendicular trajectory right to you and then suddenly churns and starts going immediately away from you.
That doesn't happen. You can't do that. You have to
actually, Kaz
Well, if
brings
it just
up
like bears
very
like a
good
different
point.
direction and starts going, it's going to look like it's not moving
Because of
in
the
the same
distance
direction.
factor.
It's going to start looking like it's moving or hovering.
Airplanes
It's
can't
going to
cut
slowly.
like sharp 90-degree turns.
Well,
like from,
if it
I don't
wasn't,
know.
They gotta
I watched
gradually
Top Gun.
curve around. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they don't just like
Don't.
turn on a dime and
Goose
spin around and go.
was up
like,
there spinning
all right,
around.
due left, due west, my man.
so the curvature of the Earth can explain how, because some hawks, they will
Birds don't even do
appear-
that. That's totally unnatural. It's
They
an
bang.
unnatural
Appear-
form of movement.
They bang
Just-
when they.
Hear
the
me
hawks.
out. Hear me out.
You saying
They
hawks?
will-
They bang. They
They
bang.
bang when they fall, like they bang each other. That's how
They
that's
will
how hawks
appear
bang.
like they're hovering, just because they are caught up in a slower trade wind.
All right.
So that
Right.
could account for it hovering.
Maybe the guy was just like, all right, cut off, and we're just going to slightly
Yep.
veer over here and then catch back in and turn
Because
back
of
on
the
the thing.
curvature of the Earth.
However, you
in
were seeing-
2 seconds time, so that doesn't make any sense. But
That's true. If you haven't seen the video, you posted it on Facebook, right?
Oh,
so
you
yeah.
have a video? Oh, I didn't see the video. I just saw
Oh
a
no,
picture.
no, it's sorry, it's the pictures.
yeah,
It's the
pictures.
Can you make a flip book?
Sure.
Yeah,
Actually,
you could.
yeah.
There you
Yeah.
go.
You have to download an
It
app.
would look way spookier too. There's like still like just
It's
like
with some
moving
really
through the
eerie
air.
music in the
Yeah, like,
background.
That's the thing. Like over the course of these couple of seconds, nothing changed. The same cloud covering, the same everything.
Interesting. I did see actually over the weekend it was an identified flying object. I was up at
Was
like
it a plane?
3:30 in the morning, smoking a cigarette on
Right.
my back porch, and a very bright light off in the distance was just slowly sort of going up. I was like, oh shit. And I looked and you could tell it was the afterburners of a rocket. And I was like, well, why are they doing 3:30 in the morning on like a Sunday or Saturday night? I forgot what it was over the weekend. And I looked it up and there was a SpaceX launch.
Yep.
And the
Oh.
payload was a classified U.S. reconnaissance task force something payload that they weren't apparently allowed to talk about. They did like a covert
Star
like
Wars.
3:30 a.m. like SpaceX launch.
What's amazing about NASA is that they will open up their launch pads to private companies.
Right.
Well, they have to
Yeah.
now because they're not getting any funding.
That's true.
That is also true. So
It's
they've
the only
they've
place
turned,
that's like actually able to do that stuff.
yeah, and they've got clearance from the Coast Guards, of course. I mean, they have that relationship built up over 50, 60 years.
So yeah,
That's
look
awesome.
look at the sky. There's weird stuff.
All the time.
Sure, it wasn't just like a Domino's delivery to the International Space Station,
Could have been.
like just some cheesy breadsticks.
Actually, no, I think it was Pizza Hut that did that, and it was a salami pizza.
Mmm.
They had a vote on the space station.
By the time
They're
I
like,
got
like,
there.
yeah, okay, let's get
I'm
salami.
pretty sure it was salami pizza.
That's weird.
Anyway,
And it was only one. You figure give them like a couple because
I am
yeah.
tired of all this
freeze-dried pizza.
So if you guys would like to see that, just go to our Facebook page. That's the easiest way to find it, and you will scroll through. It's called My UFO Sighting. You can also go to the realradio.fm page and just look up the Fritz blog, and also check out some Fort Fritz podcasts up there. That's all distributed by iHeart. It's edited, so
But you can get the unedited ones on Stitcher or Google
is true.
Play
That is
or
true.
iTunes.
Nick Spry, what do you got for us?
So this week I'm doing something a little different. Now that we're in the off season, I thought I'd talk about some entertainment. I'm
You're
not
taking
much
my
of a
thing. You're doing my thing now.
yeah. I'm doing my thing.
Oh, we've
I
all
got,
good.
I got a
Take your
spooky
thing.
word of the day for you.
Yeah.
Oh, wait,
Horror.
I was going to do a movie too. Suck it.
Bastards.
It's vacay time.
It's fine.
Vacay time.
It's fine.
It's a little me time.
Kaz, I would never watch a movie, just so you know.
Okay. Thank you.
So I am
you just
not much
watching
of a
the new
gamer,
Jason?
but I have been hooked on this game called Cuphead.
Yeah.
It is incredible. I don't know if anybody's heard of it. It was just released in September 29th. A
couple weeks ago,
In
yeah.
the first 2 weeks, it had over 1 million downloads.
Really?
Yeah, it's been quite the sensation. But,
It's been in production for a while. They've pushed back the release on it, and people have been like really wanting this game to come out for a couple of
Kickstarter,
years now.
Indiegogo type game. or-
Actually,
yeah, a little bit. There was definitely some crowdsourcing on that. But to describe the game, think it's a 1930s cartoon. It's definitely the artwork was
Steamboat Willie.
inspired
I
by
was just about to say, is it like
It's
Steamboat Willie?
Colorized Steamboat Willie.
Kind of like that early Disney stuff, but more like the Max Fleischer stuff,
Max
which
Fleischer.
was
Yeah.
like I guess the biggest in the 1930s, the biggest opponent of Disney Studios. And Max Fleischer Studios did like Popeye, they did Betty Boop, they did Coco the Clown.
Okay, yeah. So that
Oh,
it's
Coco the
a very,
Clown, yeah,
it's a
yeah.
very stylistic approach to cartoons.
Right,
yeah.
but it's a playable video game, and you can do 1 or 2 players. Think Contra, but amazing.
is.
I'm stealing this quote from Kaz, actually. Think Contra with its amazing artwork and music. Everything was crowdsourced, original compositions for the music, and think intense swing jazz. Sometimes there's vocals, big band horn sections. It's really, really intense. And you're a guy who is a cup for a head. Your brother is named Mughead. You fight.
So that's all the creativity went out before they got to that part, I guess.
It's beautiful to look at. It's really enjoyable to watch as a spectator too. So you attack people by shooting a little finger gun. You have power ups. You can switch between weapons.
So this is animated like cell animation?
It is almost like that. There was a bit of a process. This game runs at 60 frames per second, where a traditional film runs at 24 frames per second. But they
wow.
actually found a way to make that work.
That's amazing.
Yeah, but I cannot stress how gorgeous this game is. It's mainly boss to boss. There's an overhead view sometimes. The artwork reminds me of something like Little Nemo in Slumberland mixed with Bosco cartoons. It's
Bosco.
unbelievable.
Is this a side-scrolling?
It is a
2D?
side scroller, but it alternates between being a character or transforming as a plane.
Really?
I haven't gotten through all of it. It's incredibly hard, but it's easily one of those games where you could sit down and play for like 4 hours and lose yourself in and just try and beat this, because you start to see patterns and you're like, all right, I got this. Just one more. It's
That's the addictive nature of those type of games, and then you get that adrenaline endorphin rush when you beat a boss, and then you're ready for the next one. You don't want you're supposed to put it down. Be like, let's just do one more.
I think also one of the cool things about this game is that so the developers of this were Studio MDHR Entertainment, but it's like a family affair. So the directors of this were Chad Moldenhauer and Jared Moldenhauer. The producers were Marija Moldenhauer and Ryan Moldenhauer.
They know each other.
They're, like I said, it's a family affair.
It's a family affair. Yeah.
And they helped develop the art. They ran it through production. I should mention that the composer is Christopher Madigan, and these compositions are just killer. I cannot stress how cool the music is for this game.
How would you describe it besides just like the jazzy kind of like bebop?
Full orchestra feel.
Full orchestra, big horn
Really?
sections, lots of just think of the way like the old cartoons from Warner Brothers would have like the theme of industry, like the dun 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 dun
Yeah.
dun dun. That
Oh,
feel
who was it
100%.
that did that? The
I
name of the game is Lightworks. It was that guy.
DJ Shadow.
Everybody, we used it. Freaking Gargamo used that.
Yeah.
Everybody's used it.
It's a really
so
famous
awesome.
theme, but
Yeah, but that's
it
a very
much
famous
has that
composer, too.
that feel to it that kind of like drives your anxiety while you're trying to overcome a giant psychic character shooting lightning bolts at you, or say you're flying through the sky and you watch this end boss transform from two ladies.
Let's not give away all of the details here.
All right.
Spoiler.
I just highly recommend it. I think it's around $20. It's available on the Xbox platform. Download it today.
So I play PlayStation. I can download that, right?
Negative.
No, that's not true. You
It's
cannot.
only on X1 and
Nerd.
Windows 10.
But you can find it through, I believe, what was it? Kaz was saying he found it through
Steam, which is a like video game, PC video game like
Nice.
network thing you can use.
Anything
awesome.
else from you, Nick Spry?
No, that's all I got for this week.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Mandaddy, what you got over there, dog?
Just because it is the horror movie season. This is the best time to watch horror movies. We just saw It, and
Nice.
Angela was right. That movie is amazing. Saw it in the theater. That's the way to see it. It's just really well done.
Yeah.
Freaking awesome.
Angela was the first one to kind of break
To bring
that on
it
the
up.
show.
Yeah.
And so what we watched just the other night was the new one on Netflix, Cult of Chucky, going back to the Child's Play series.
Ooh.
And it's if you haven't seen, they did a reboot a few years ago. That was a reboot, but not a reboot. It's kind of hard to describe. They went kind of meta with it, where it's kind of your classic reboot, but they harken back to the old one in certain ways. It's really cool the way they do it. You have to see it. They have Curse of Chucky, and now the new one is Cult of Chucky, and really enjoyed it.
It's a good time if you're into the Chucky movies. If you like that type of campy but still scary, gory with comedy thrown in sort of thing.
Dude, Chucky was amazing.
Oh, it's awesome.
Is
It's
it
great.
still the same voice actor that plays Chucky?
They've got
Really?
the same guy, Brad Dourif or something like that.
That
Brad
sounds right.
Dourif, really?
Something like
Wait.
that. No, what is it?
No,
Steven Dorff.
Not Steven Dorff.
he was the bad guy in Blade 1.
No, Brad Dourif makes sense.
I was thinking of the Tim Conway
He's
character.
a Wormtongue in Lord of the
Dorff.
Rings. He was Billy Bibbit in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Good check here.
Billy Bibbit.
Yeah.
That is fucking hell of a name. That is
Johnny
a hell of a
Batty,
name.
friend of the show.
We're gonna take a
Friend
break
of the
right
show.
now, so I can pull this shit up. Which I probably should have had it already.
Half-ass,
Yeah,
half-ass
minute.
motherfucker.
Well, Mandaddy is bringing that
Who
up.
was the voice of Chucky?
You know what cats really enjoy?
What's that?
Killing indiscriminate organisms. In
Well,
the
they are
front and
hunters.
They're
backyard.
hunters.
Yeah, they're
Right.
hunters.
I feel like it's the opposite. Like people are like, oh, like my cat like kills stuff, and it's like you keep the cat inside all day, and it's like fucking just wants to kill. It's just sitting there thinking about killing, and it doesn't have things to kill. When you let them outside, they kill everything.
Oh
I
yeah.
don't know.
Everything.
Have you ever seen when they
You're
see a
denying
bird?
it. It's like essential thing. It's just like fucking like okay, fine. I guess I'm here. You
I feel
could
like my cat
you
doesn't like
neutered
that.
me
It's,
and I get
it's more
fat.
like if I try and get her to go outside, she's like, I just want to go
You
back.
have
into
like
the AC.
a-
She's special needs.
right.
Yeah,
You have a special
But-
cat.
She's she's like.
One of our
Right.
cats
I'm
is
not
more of a
feeling
kill
this.
than the other. Right now, Genghis, he'll kill if it's around there, but he doesn't seek it out the way that Jolene does. Jolene,
exactly.
She'll get the where their lip starts quivering when they see a bird outside. It's the greatest thing.
Genghis is your oldest cat?
Yes, Genghis the 12-year-old, and Jolene's the 1 and 2 months or so.
Do you know the species of these cats?
Genghis is pretty much a Burman. He's a Burman with a mix. Burmans look like Siamese, but they have the all white paws, and the eyes are just a little different. Jolene is just your typical long hair, black American,
Awesome.
mix.
This has been Cat Minute with everybody.
There you go.
There you go. Sorry about that. But if you enjoy that sort of stuff, I highly recommend it. It's Netflix is great during the Halloween season. There's always so many campy, wonderful, and crappy movies you can watch during this time, and this is the time to watch it. Finally, today we had their first little bit of chill in the air outside. Finally, and so now is finally the time to watch some scary shit.
That's
All
awesome.
right.
Yeah, and when you say chill in the air, humidity goes from 99 to 80.
Oh, it's like freezing outside.
And, right. It's just Arctic, just
right now,
like
now's the time that
wasteland.
if I see anyone on Facebook complain about it being cold, I want to shoot him in the fucking face.
That's the thing. Like,
You
okay,
want
so
to attack people about their Facebook like posts a lot.
Pretty much, yeah.
I
I
like-
spend way too much fucking time on Facebook.
I like
Why?
that. I like that about you.
So I was in Juneau, Alaska in June, and that's funny.
How'd you plan that
is
out?
funny.
It was 46 degrees. I felt fine in short sleeves and shorts. The humidity was 99%. So
Wow.
can we finally put to bed the notion that in our fall it's 50, but humidity is 0. There is no moisture in the air. It's fucking unbearable.
It's awesome.
But it's
Because
also
it's
really
different.
cold. It is.
Yeah.
But
It's cold
different.
though.
Well, because the rest of the time it's freaking
right.
sweltering.
For that week, we definitely have
Yeah,
That's true.
It is
We
a,
definitely have, like, a
it's
way
a horrible
better
72 hours.
right.
I always look forward to February 15th through the 22nd.
Right.
Yeah. I've had the same jacket for 6 years and I've worn it 5 times.
I have to.
My jacket? That's where God, you have to ask, dude. That's not fair.
We all like to put it on. I just miss the musk of you.
I apologize. You gave me the key to your house.
No, I didn't. I never did that. I left
I-
my keys on the counter for like an hour last week.
I made a trip to Home Depot.
You son of a bitch.
I-
So, Kaz, what you got there to bring to the Minisode there, buddy?
Since I had to go last, I will also do horror movie news.
You
As you
have
guys-
the last say. You can shit on Nick Spry if you want.
Both of your movies were shitty,
Okay.
and they weren't good
Well,
movies.
his was a video game, so
Jeez,
and
I
yours
Yeah,
was
I
a
did.
video game, and it was terrible. No,
Obviously,
that
he
video
just
game is
zoned out.
awesome.
It's dope.
And you told me you didn't mention it, but I think it bears mentioning that this is the same developer that made Super Meat Boy, which
Yes.
was
Oh, it
a couple
is.
of years ago.
In 2010.
the Big
that game
like,
was freaking difficult.
2D
man.
like big breakthrough hit, but they did a similar thing with this, and that I like. It's becoming a trend in that it's hard. It makes you like have really good reactions. It makes you think, but it also doesn't like really penalize you for losing. Like you die and you start immediately again. You die and you start again. And it's not like go through a scene and load and sit there and watch a fucking cutscene and then try it again. You get
Nothing
it right away,
sucks
right
more
away,
than when
right
you
away.
die after a cutscene and you
Oh.
know you're going to see
Yeah.
it again.
If it was like a standalone arcade game, you would easily spend like $500.
Oh,
in
yeah,
2
exactly.
hours.
Yeah, just
It's the kind of game where, right, you need to play it at home on a lot of weed and just hanging out.
Like sitting on top.
sitting
of
on
it.
top
Right,
of
like a
plants,
mountain of
potted
weeds.
plants.
Yeah. So I was talking about it earlier, and I think that we should do like a group viewing of Train to Busan. Have you guys heard of this?
I'm going to check it out.
I heard about this.
It's a
Korean film.
Korean zombie movie, but it's apparently got just an amazing story. There's like a really emotional kind of backing to this zombie story that takes place on the train.
Wait. So I haven't heard of this.
Okay.
It's a zombie train?
Well, so
It's like, is the conductor a zombie and is just like, choot, choot, like,
Well, it's not like we talked about trains last week. You don't need to steer the damn things, just as long as it's
you
got.
kind of have to, like, at least control the
zombie-
speed so you don't go off the rails on a turn.
Hey,
you're
don't.
thinking of old timey like coal, like a dude shoveling
Like a
coal into
coal-powered zombie is what I'm thinking of.
No, you just press the
This is
button.
mechanized.
And then
You
it
gotta
stops.
like
Right.
shovel coal into the zombie.
2017, our trains just go. They like you push a button and it just goes.
Nick Spry, there's been no major train disasters in the past 2,000 years. Come on.
Trains are the safest mode of transportation.
And actually, elevators are.
Oh shit.
Yep.
And a hush falls over the crowd.
So the official, I guess, like quick synopsis is a man and his estranged daughter, among other passengers, become trapped on a speeding train during a zombie outbreak in South Korea.
Wow.
It's from the same guy as Snowpiercer, right?
I believe so.
No, is
yeah.
it?
Yeah, the guy's got a thing about trains, man. It is.
Yeah, I'd have to look that up.
Or I can't remember.
I'm not sure. There is an animated prequel to this called Seoul Station.
Oh.
So
Yeah.
what's
See what they
the
did
capital?
there.
The capital of South Korea.
Correct. And again, I don't know if that's true or not. I'm just saying yes.
It is.
Okay. So it looks really good, and I want to check it out. And it kind of, I don't know if you guys, in a less, I guess, artistically credible direction, but did you guys ever get into those like we've talked about Ichi the Killer,
Oh,
those
yeah.
like Korean
Those-
hyper violent, like fucking, was it Tokyo Gore Police and like weird.
Well, those
Takashi
are like Japanese.
Takashi Miike?
Takashi Miike is a
Yes.
Japanese director, but Koreans have a lot of that sort
Right.
of like.
It was just like pushing
Crazy
the envelope
horror.
of what you would expect to even be in a movie, like just stuff you wouldn't think of, I guess, maybe just from like Western sensibility. Go ahead.
I just want to say, as host of this podcast, we have a guest. We have two guests, Brittany and Cassie. Cassie has been nodding the entire time. You've been saying, well, I believe that this app. She's been vehemently nodding yes.
That's you fucking
Thank
idiot.
you.
That's exactly
Thank
This
right.
is up her wheelhouse. She's like, yes, continue.
So, well, those movies are weird, and like, if you're a weirdo if you've seen them, they're strange. So, Cassie, like,
Well, a good example of that made its way into like American culture was Chuck Pan. What is his name? Chan Wook Park.
Shark Tan Park.
I'm really slaughtering
Shark
this name.
Tan
Park.
The
Take me
guy,
parking.
the original version of Old Boy from Korea.
oh yeah,
Amazing. Absolutely. The American version
well, it
just
was like
shit
slaughtered.
all
It was the
over.
sympathy for Mr. and Mrs. Vengeance, like
The whole trilogy, was
right?
great.
Yeah,
What was the American version of Old Boy?
Old Boy.
Old Boy
was
with
directed by
Josh Brolin.
Yes.
Spike.
It was
Lee?
so bad.
Spike
Yeah,
Lee?
with Spike Lee.
Yeah.
It was
It was
so
a Spike
horrible.
Lee joint.
I was laughing.
Oh, no.
It's not supposed to be a comedy. There were scenes where I was just literally laughing at how bad the iconic hallway hammer fight scene.
Right.
I was laughing.
No, I haven't
And that
seen
is-
that American
no.
version then.
Oh no!
I really like
it's
Josh
so bad.
Brolin too. Like, even though he's kind of
Yeah,
like,
I'm a fan.
like he's cool. Like, I liked No Country for Old Men, but yeah, no, that was a terrible.
Javier Bardem. Yeah. What time do you close? Now is not a time. What time do you close? I love that scene.
His
It's
like
such a
bowl
great scene.
haircut too. I wish I could pull that off.
Terrifying for some reason.
But yeah, no. So yeah, I guess you can see
yeah,
the. So yeah, no, yeah. So you can see,
No,
Yeah, no, yeah.
What's
That was
this movie
impressive.
called again?
Train to Busan.
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 Correct.
Is this a movie that most people know about? Is there
It
any
seems
kind
like
of
it's definitely
local-
been getting popular. Yeah, I think it came
I've
out
heard
like a
about it
year
from
or
it,
two
yeah.
ago ish. So we're pretty late to the party. But yeah, it's definitely it's supposed to be good.
Are there any celebrities that have been like endorsing this? Is this something I should watch?
Yeah, actually, if you follow Stephen King on his Facebook page, Stephen King actually raved about this movie and said that he expects a lot of good things from these people, and it was something that blew him away and he wasn't expecting. So
Is
I'm
it,
definitely interested to check it out.
Dubbed or subtitled?
Oh, you can get both, I'm sure.
Both? Okay. Because, I mean, that's the interesting thing about Snowpiercer, because it had, like, Chris Evans in it.
Right.
You know, I mean, so it was English actors doing English. And so I was wondering, is this one...
I
No,
feel
these are Asian actors.
Yeah, but
It's
don't
all-
you feel like at the same
had a
time
mix of- it had a mix of
the
English and
world
Asian,
film market is becoming much more integrated, where people don't have a problem having people speak multiple languages, and they just go, "Well, everybody's going to watch this regardless. If it's a good film, it's going to hit all markets."
I
Well,
agree.
they do the like
People don't
global
hesitate
dubbing or
anymore,
whatever,
yeah.
right?
Right.
Like the famous people in Brazil did like The Lion King or whatever. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
all of their,
or
their
they
James
just throw
Earl
on
Jones.
subtitles and they go, "We're just going to have a bunch of languages in this, and you're going to have to deal with that."
That's fine too.
Speak American, man.
Are these zombies fast moving or slow paced?
I don't know. I haven't seen the movie yet.
Oh my god, I can't wait to watch this thing.
So yeah, we'll post a link to the Facebook page for probably not like a download of the movie, but at least like a review to get you pointed in the right direction.
It'll take you to Google.
Zombies are just fucking scary, man. They're dead. They're coming at you. And there's usually a bunch of them, you know?
It's gonna have to be pretty damn good to beat my favorite zombie / probably horror movie of the last 10 years, whenever it came out, 28 Days Later.
It's a great movie.
That movie,
Yeah.
28 days later is very,
It's like-
very
Remember,
frightening.
those aren't zombies.
No, they're not.
right?
They're not. They're
it's
infected
like-
with the rage virus.
Right, it's like
But it's totally zombies.
potato
Points.
Totally
zabombo.
zombie. It's totally zombies.
But yeah,
All right. Well, that is Minisode 17. Of course, right now we're in a kind of a mid-season break, so keep checking back. We're going to be doing some more minisodes. We're going to be doing some little tidbits, some little special things here. Always check out on the Facebook page for interesting little posts and doodads and whatnots. Check us out on the Stitcher, on Libsyn. We're on YouTube. Check us out on Twitter, which is Fort Fritz MC at Fort Fritz MCT. Listen to us, share us, more importantly, bring more people into the fold so then they can be a part of the happy and disturbed little family that is Fort Fritz. Thanks for listening.
We like people.
I don't.
yeah, no.